Dude, how right was my answer on that quote tweet of like, what fictional character's death?
So I put my buddy on the game and I was trying to explain to him like how awesome it is and everything. And then you had that tweet like 12 hours after we talked about it. So I sent it to him. He's like, weird timing.
Super weird. And by the way, people are like, oh, you go off one ledge and it's over. I'm talking about the end where I'm talking about now, mind you, my honor rating was pegged to 0. So I don't know. I mean, from the beginning, I had,
yeah. I mean, I killed a lot of people accidentally at first.
Yeah. I mean,
and then I really got it. Then they were all on purpose.
Yeah. To the point where like I couldn't travel anywhere without having 5 guys chasing me in any.
No, I was spending a lot of money paying off my warrants.
Yeah. Because it got like at first it was fun just killing all the bounty hunters. And then you're just like, oh, come on. I'm on a mission. You know, at first it was enjoyable. And then you just you're like, all right, I can't do this anymore.
I need to play again. I miss it.
But at the end where, God, what was not John Marston, but what was the main character's name?
I don't know, dude.
Really? Help me out. I'm the one that has the bad memory.
My memory is garbage. You got to remember, every time I played that game, I was doing things that would make me feel like I was in it.
Yeah. So. Arthur Moore. Thank you. Yeah. Arthur Morgan. At the end, like when his horse dies and he thanks her. Now, granted, I mean, if you're smart, you have the Arabian horse. You have to. Like that's.
I feel like I could replay that game right now and not remember most of the storyline.
I think I can remember most of it.
I'll remember the beginning and I'll remember the end, but there's probably like a good chunk in the middle.
You clearly have to remember the beginning because that was where you're in the snow-soaked mountain or the snow.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, just get through the start. It's like an extended intro.
Yes, then it gets good.
Yeah. And I was like, you don't have to be good at the game. Like it's not a skill game. It's a story.
Well, that's what's great for me because I don't play up like video. I don't play shooter video. For me, it's like, okay, I can dead eye it. I can like it's simplified.
Yeah. After an hour, you know exactly the best way to do everything.
Perfect game for somebody like me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm not going to say anything about why, but
I want to play it again. Hey, good morning. Well, good afternoon, I guess. These 12 o'clocks are throwing me off, man. Happy to have you guys with us. We got another early. Well, really, it's like yes, Lee Price, Red Dead Redemption 2. Really, it's the only slate, right? I mean, I think there might be like a 6 o'clock.
There's 4 tonight, right?
I thought there was only there's 2. I thought maybe 3. Is it?
Yeah, 3?
There's only 3. And that starts at like 6:35.
Well, I will be not playing that.
But we've got a 4-gamer here. You have Jack Flaherty against Milwaukee. By the way, happy to have you guys with us. Please, if you'd be so kind, atone for your sins this morning, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Goes a long way for us. We appreciate you. And anytime you want to listen to these strategy shows, this is different, live before lock, no real shelf life here. But anytime you want to listen, podcast form, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you may listen, we got you. We got you covered. Comes out like what, an hour or less after we conclude this one. But I like to ask you this question a lot, just to kind of lay the foundation. Now, granted, we'll provide some context here. It's only a 4-game slate. But for a 4-game slate, because yesterday pitching on the 3-gamer was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
How do you look at pitching for today's on a scale of 1 to 10? Where do we put it?
I mean, for of the available arms for today, I mean, probably like an 8.
I think so.
I mean, Flaherty, Webb, Miller, Fried for this slate size is interesting. And then Quintana is pulling like 25% ownership too. So, you know, you got to talk about that at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Even Kenta Maeda is like sneaky interesting for the size of this slate, given his strikeout stuff.
And he's the probable long reliever for this game as well.
Correct.
It's pretty good for a 4-game slate, for sure.
Yeah.
So we can dig into it. I ran the Sims already. We'll build a lineup out as well and see where it takes us. But the funny thing for me is that I just had very similar ownership going to those top 4 guys. A little less of Jack Flaherty than the rest based on that $10,000 price point, about 25%. But I'm in that 40% range on Webb, Fried, and Quintana.
I have 42 to 52 of Flaherty, Webb, Fried, and Quintana. They're making up 188% of my stuff.
It's funny to me that Bryce Miller is the guy I'm getting the least of in that range.
I'm
Also,
very happy about it. Mariners on the road.
I was just gonna say, how many we've beaten this horse, we've beaten this one, or beaten the dead horse here many times, but which is a perfect reference for the way we
Yeah,
opened the show.
fitting for today.
He has been such a different pitcher at home and on the road, not just run prevention and all of that stuff, but remember last week, I think we talked about the strikeouts. He
Yeah,
has borderline elite strikeout rate at home around 30%. And on the road, I think at last I looked, it was like 15 or 16%, something egregiously bad. I don't understand it.
he's a completely different human being.
And then
He
you're
just he
talking
becomes a
ownership on
different
him
person.
is
It's wild.
still 25%. Flaherty's at 54% at $10,000. I mean, kind of just feels like you're going to get naturally funneled to guys like Fried at 8K, Webb against Atlanta, but Atlanta's been striking out. It's a great park in San Francisco. You know, probably the most pitcher friendly park along with T-Mobile in Seattle. Those price points there, maybe on a larger slate wouldn't be as appealing, but getting that and granted, Jack Flaherty's a good play here for sure. He's just a good
Yep.
pitcher. He's a workhorse. He can go deep into games, good strikeout stuff. But getting those 8K, I mean, specifically on free to low 8K prices, really interesting in that park.
Very, 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 very. Because I mean, look, I just look at the run total. I mean, both teams are under 4. Like, you're not going to expect a ton of offense coming out of this game. And even with Logan Webb being like not really a strikeout guy, he's also a guy that goes 7 innings basically every start. And if you get him at home, I think that's going to help him out quite a bit. I assume he has big, maybe not big, but like I assume he
Significant.
has.
Well, I can give you ERA if you want to pull up XFIP. I'm just looking at the basic stuff here. But
It's 318 xFIP at home, 347 on the road this year. So not really all that different. He's been a little
actual splits,
unlucky.
actual splits, like performance wise, he's been a lot better at home.
Yeah,
But
254 WOBA at home, 315 on the road.
either way, the guy's allowed 7 total home runs on the season, only 3 at home this year.
Yeah.
Atlanta thrives on power. It's a pretty good spot for Webb, all things considered, at 8,800. I really have no issues with this here. Like you said, low total in this game, great park, pitcher that goes deep into games all the time. Hard to get away from Logan Webb. Right now, he would be my highest exposed pitcher.
He's tied with Max Fried for me. I have 52% of both of them. Although I am rerunning because Mookie Betts is not in the Dodgers lineup.
Quintana's the interesting one here.
Oh, this one's death, dude.
Wow, I didn't know this about him, and it's quite shocking. His home run splits from home and on the road are pretty crazy. 5 home runs allowed on the road. Mind you,
Okay.
same amount of innings pitched, 63 and 2/3 on the road, 61 and a third at home. 5 home runs allowed on the road, 14 at home.
Righty power gets played up there. So in a way, that
Yep.
kind of makes sense.
No, I mean, that is true. It could potentially be a spot to look for some homer props on guys like, is Rooker. Let me pull these up.
Like Langoliers, Zach Geloff, Tyler Nevin.
Yeah.
Daz. I think I bet Daz Cameron.
Rooker's not in the lineup.
In fact, I definitely bet Daz Cameron this morning. So, spoiler alert: round robin is already in. For those of you that watch Odd Shopper live, Daz Cameron is absolutely one of them.
Would have been nice to have Brent Rooker's on the paternity list, as a matter of fact. Still.
What, did he have the baby? God.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean? Get back to your job.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying he had a lifestyle I was unfamiliar with.
Oh.
I
I mean, no matter what, he still didn't have the baby, but some people might tell you different.
careful. Yeah,
No,
but
no. Get
I will
back. You're
say
in, you're in the majors, man. You pay for somebody to take your place.
it does actually make this matchup better for Quintana, though. I mean, Rooker is a monster and
Yeah,
crushes
taking him out of
left-handed
that lineup is an unequivocal dub for Quintana and the Mets.
big time. They only have a 4-run total. It's it's a sketchy spot. Oakland
It
has a
is.
lot of power versus lefties. Again, if you take Rooker out of it, it doesn't look quite as good, but they still have power.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that is crazy, dude. He's had all right. So his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 home starts.
Mm-hmm.
He's allowed multiple home runs in 4 of them, with 3 to Atlanta, 2 to the Dodgers, 2 to Arizona, and 4 to the Rockies. That's pretty crazy. Like he gives up the long ball at home for sure.
He really does. I'm looking at it right now. I don't have the A's are my least exposed team, so it doesn't appear that that is a direction that I'm going to be going.
He also hasn't been blown up. It's a lot of these solo shots.
I have 62% Quintana, so it looks like I'm betting on the arm.
8% 5-man stacks for the Oakland A's, 8% 3-man. I actually don't mind this as a spot if you're talking Oakland where you get like secondary stacks for them. You know, you just get a couple
No,
power righties and hope that they. I think against Quintana that actually makes a lot of sense. I don't love
I
the
agree.
5-man stack as much as maybe even a if you're going like a 5-2-1 or a 5-3 or something. Maybe get some Oakland sprinkled in there in non-Quintana lineups.
I like it on paper. It just doesn't appear to be whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm too busy stacking against Flaherty, you know?
Oh yeah.
Always. Not always Flaherty, but always that particular spot. I have more Brewers than anything else. Worked out so well for the Twins yesterday.
Yeah, not great, but
No, not so much.
I'd go back and do the same thing though.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't change it.
No,
If I said that I would change it, you should stop listening to me immediately.
but changing it based on one game, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the Twins were not good. But again, you're just when you've got a pitcher that is as insanely high owned as Reagan's is, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet there. Like that's just
Yeah.
how it goes.
He was
You
good.
don't have to. I mean, if you didn't yesterday, you were in good shape, but
It sucked because I had the first two, like Bobby Witt homered immediately. Now he was chalk. He was like 60% owned in that contest, but I had him. And then Santana homered for the Twins, and I had him. I didn't have whoever else was like blocked out in that spot from Minnesota. I was like, all right, well, at least we're off to like a decent start. I got the two things I needed, and then I don't think anybody else did a goddamn thing for the next 4 hours.
no, they didn't.
I think I had a bunch of zeros. It was rough.
Yeah, it ended up not being great. Man, that picture of Amanda Bynes was really upsetting to me.
I think I'm spot on that her mouth looks like a baboon's ass.
It does, but and I like try not to. I truly try not to even be critical because it's you're clearly dealing with some true psychological issues there.
Yeah.
But Amanda, like me growing up, I'm 37. You're what, 38?
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you spilled some seed to Amanda Bynes.
I would have been tough because it wasn't like she was doing any crazy. You know what I mean? She wasn't doing
What's the good line? You spilled
scandalous
more.
stuff.
You spilled so much seed. You were like Muhammad Ali at a bird feeder.
But man, back in the day, she was
Yeah, I mean, you see
amazing.
these pictures of her standing next to Lindsay Lohan, and you're like, I pick her.
Over Lohan.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have chosen her over any of them.
Wow.
She was a dime. I really would have back then.
You didn't know what you were getting yourself into, though.
I mean, yeah. No, Jordan,
All
you
of,
don't.
all of a sudden, she
Those.
tells you she's a Wiccan or something like that, and you're just like, what happened to the Nickelodeon girl?
Hold on a second, Jordan. Those don't do it justice. It's. There's
I
another
mean,
one
they
out there.
kind of do.
The one that I sent to you today is haunting.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Are any of them from back then? Are any of them from back then doing okay?
Like Childs, I mean, like Miley Cyrus is arguably thriving.
I don't even consider her in the same. I feel like she was younger. I'm talking. Who
She's
was
like
the
a
other?
couple years younger.
Who was the other one? There was Lindsay Lohan. There were the Olsen twins. There was uh Amanda Bynes, and then the other one from Disney. Who was the other one?
Ashley Tisdale?
No,
Too far into the future, I guess. Mary Beth, whatever, the girl from
no,
all
no,
that.
no.
I don't.
If I say it, you're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly." Someone in chat will mention it.
What did
They'll
she
get
do? Just she had a show just like that. Just
Lizzie McGuire. Yeah. What was?
oh, Hillary Duff.
Yeah, Hillary Duff was another
Yeah,
one.
she's thriving. She's smoking hot right now.
Hillary Duff is? No.
Yeah, she's hotter now than she was then. You'll be like, yep, okay, agreed. Yeah,
Oh,
her
wow,
life is going really well.
she looks great.
Yeah. Yeah. Full stop, hard win. It's like not even we're not when we talk about Amanda Bynes and we talk about Hillary Duff, we are not talking about the same thing right now.
No, it's such a shame. Sorry to
And she's got, I mean, Hillary Duff has 4 kids. That puts it in perspective even more.
Yeah. And again, apologies on the derail here. But
yeah.
Really it upset me, man. I was like,
well, just look at more pictures of Hillary Duff and you'll get over her real quick.
All right, Jordan. I sent you the one I'm actually referring to. Yeah. But anyway.
I'm glad you said Lizzie McGuire. That got me where we needed to be. See, I didn't watch any of this stuff.
I saw a bunch of the movies that Bynes was in.
I didn't, none of them.
He's the man, the soccer one.
Anything she's ever done.
I also have a sister that's only a couple years younger than me.
That helps to do it. But like, I can't think of a single thing I've ever watched her do. Like, I didn't watch her show. Like, I didn't watch all that. So like, she was a non-existent person to me.
I did.
She did do a TV commercial for Bunch of Crunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan, and Taco Bell. Did you put that one up on the screen? That's why I sent it to you. Yeah,
she did a commercial for Taco Bell, and now they could probably pay her in Taco Bell.
Also,
hey, do you want to get into this commercial? We're going to run back that one you did from 20 years ago. Yeah, I'll take a beefy cheese burrito, some cinnamon stick joints you guys got. And if you have any loose change, I want to try to drop it in that thing at the register if I can get a free soft taco.
She changed her name to Midge Gardner.
Weird. Wikipedia didn't get to that one.
All right, we'll move on. I'm gonna have Jordan put this up. This is the one that does. This is the craziest one.
Here's a quote from her in 2014. The microchip in my brain made me say those things, but he's the one that ordered them to microchip me, in reference to her dad.
Oh, put that one up.
You got a microchip in 2014. What do you think you have now?
Yeah, I know. We'll move on. But this one is like, my sweet Amanda. My sweet Amanda. Anyway.
I think Lindsay Lohan's like thriving again.
Are there pictures today that you're writing off entirely? There you go. Look, just look at the screen real quick. That is it right there. That is it. What a shame. Oh, Midge.
She looks like Cher melted.
I told you I'm not doing that. There's something psychologically.
Those two things can't be the same thing. It's like an orange turning into a dump truck.
I'm just stop. All right. Do you have any guys like Myers or Spence? Guy, by the way, it's mid-August. We've been doing baseball for a long time now. What?
It's a 4-game slate. I can talk about it in 10 minutes.
April, May, June, July. All of April, all of May, all of June, all of July. We started in March. I knew you were still doing basketball, but like, it's a long summer. It's a long summer, and this is what happens. Mitch Spence, Tobias Myers, Kent Tomata. What are you getting to for those guys?
I don't have any Maeda, but I do think that he is pretty interesting given his strikeout stuff and the 5K price tag. You're just taking on some risk with, him not having to come in, uh, getting a win a little bit more difficult. I only have one share of Mitch Spence. I He's fine. I guess Tobias Myers is really the guy. I don't have any Tobias Myers. Um, and he would be the guy that I think that I could get to, but it is the Dodgers on the opposite side, not exactly a blast.
Yeah, I think it's fine, but
Yeah,
it's not exciting. Willie said, nice transition. I don't know if he was talking about my lazy and effortless transition back to baseball or her transition.
I
In
think he's
which,
talking about the fact that she transitioned from Amanda Bynes to Oscar the Grouch.
no, Midge Gardner, dude. Can you
Ah,
please get it? Seriously, can you please get it right? Midge Gardner, not Mitch, Midge, Midge.
isn't that like a bug? Isn't a midge like a hard to see bug?
No, that's maybe.
Yes, they are non-biting insects. Yeah. What are midges attracted to? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's a mosquito-like creature. And that fits. Because she's definitely a something like creature now.
Mm, sweet Amanda.
Mm. Oh,
It is
Mandy.
funny though that
Speaking
Bryce
of
Miller.
Mandy, shout out Mandy Moore.
Yeah, Mandy Moore was nice.
Still is, man.
A Walk to Remember.
They
Outside of
filmed
the
that here.
outside of the dying part.
Yeah. Like I filmed here. Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to know something really weird? The fact that you said that is so preposterous for today. You ready? 7 years ago, I was in one of the buildings on UNCW's campus and walked past the poster for A Walk to Remember.
What, 7 years ago today?
7 years ago today. This is in my phone from today.
That's weird. But it's also the only thing I know Mandy Moore from, so it's not that weird that you brought her up.
Sure. I mean, you should have liked her music and the fact that she had a guest starring spot in season 2 of Entourage.
Nah,
No?
it's fine. Detroit has a 3.9 run total. Should we just be betting the over on Detroit runs scored in this game? What an odd spot. Like, do me a favor, just look through some of Bryce Miller's starts on the road. They've just been pretty horrible.
If only the Tigers weren't the Tigers, this could be really interesting.
Yeah,
I
I guess
mean,
that's
let
the
me be
problem.
clear here. They're my second most exposed team, so I'm getting to
Oh,
the
are they
Tigers.
really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not every day that you can get 34% of Dylan Dingler.
That was a man his name before Midge. Yeah. Okay, so let me break it down like this. For guys like, or for teams like Milwaukee, how much Milwaukee are you getting right now? You talked about stacking against Flaherty.
22%.
22%?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 22% of the Brewers, 19% of the Tigers, 19% of the Dodgers, and then everybody else is like 10 or below.
Well, at least the Brewers are, at least you're not stacking a trash team.
Agreed. Agreed. Park looks good. Flaherty's going to be in half the lineup, so at least I'm getting some leverage out of that. I mean, it's not a great spot. We
No,
have
it's
them
not even a good
10%
spot.
to be the top stack.
Yeah. No, it's not even a good spot, but it's a lot different like going Milwaukee against Flaherty than, Miami against Flaherty or something like that. Like at
Right.
least you have some bats on that team for sure. I still, even if you're trying to get different in some fashion, still have a tough time looking at, Atlanta today against Logan Webb.
Yeah, very little.
They're
A little bit more than I thought, actually.
they're getting 9%. I mean, really, you can. you look at Seattle and the Mets against Spence, Seattle against your opener and Kenta Maeda. Those are the teams that are getting the most ownership. Dodgers against Tobias Myers as well. Don't love that, but they're pretty much right in line with their top stack percentage. Really, all of those teams are. You don't really see any negative leverage on any of these. It seems like most of them are
Yeah.
just appropriately owned today, where Detroit against Bryce Miller seems to be the highest leverage team we have. They're the one looking at the top stacks tool that looks pretty good. Also, highest value score on the slate.
So I think the Dodgers actually are underowned, even given the fact that they're pulling 16% ownership. I think they're so I have the way that I have the Dodgers projected is night and day to us. And I'm really curious as to why. Like I have their top stack odds 10% higher than we do.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, maybe when I rerun it on a new betting line now with bets and stuff out, it's going to be pretty dramatic. But like, I think they look really good.
Not a fan of Tobias Myers.
Not really.
He's been
Should I
pretty
be?
damn good.
Has he?
It hasn't been bad.
I mean, average. He's been pretty lucky. BABIP is on the luck side.
How
He's
far?
left 86% of runners on base. That's like 15% above league average.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like he's obviously a very reasonable like mid-tier starter. But I don't know. I'm not really sweating that.
No, I'm not saying to be sweating it, but he's been decent.
Okay, so I have the Dodgers down a couple percentage points now that I reran my top stacks, but not crazy. Like we have it at 16, I have it at 23.
Okay. Man, I keep coming back to this Detroit team.
You don't got to talk me into it.
It's like, okay, Bryce Miller on the road, 2 home runs per 9. At home, 0.5.
Yeah, it's a great spot for like Kerry Carpenter.
Sure. 29% K rate at home. I wasn't wrong. 14.5 on the road. 488 xFIP to 334 at home. It's just crazy how different some of these numbers are. Really is. 15% home run to fly ball rate compared to 9. Yeah. Wow.
X ISO for Bryce Miller against lefties over the last year and a half is 238.
Is it that high?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kerry Carpenter X ISO against righties over the last year and a half. That's 530 plate appearances, 253.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh, I just got a random text message from a number I don't recognize.
You're telling me why?
We could have some fun with it while we're on the show. They just said hi.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like, your package has arrived, but
No,
respond back.
don't know. I did.
Ask
I
them
said,
if
hey.
they've seen Amanda Bynes.
Yeah. Do you know Midge? I'm hoping it's some voting stuff. I usually get to have quite a bit of fun in those scenarios.
It just starts with a hi.
I don't know. You never know.
Huh.
Hope to see you voting for insert candidate here. And it's like, nope, I'm the other one. Let's find out. No matter who they say, I'm the other side.
Yeah. Favorite stacks right now, because then we can build something out here.
Tigers and Brewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured just want to drill down on that because
I think the Brewers are like, I mean, they're dead last in ownership. I don't believe in that at all.
our 2 highest leverage stacks right now are the Brewers and Tigers.
Well, nailed it.
Man, the interesting one would be getting like a 3-3-2 or something with like Detroit, Oakland, and then Dodgers or something like that.
I like it.
Because I don't, like I said, I don't love Oakland as just a full out stack, but they definitely intrigue me.
I definitely want to have pieces of them, that's for sure. I'm
Do I
pulling up
have?
the sim tool. What do we got? Lock at 110. Oh, plenty of time.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Should I see what my top lineup is coming out in the from an ROI perspective?
Sure.
I won't read it off. I got duped in that contest I was in yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. Only by one, and it's somebody that watches.
Was it? You think it was, or you know it was?
I know it is. 100%.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You watching now? You know you have it.
Well, did it cash?
No, it didn't cash. All right, Bryce Turing, Joey Ortiz, Miguel Rojas, Otani, Churio. All right. My number one lineup, which leaves $1,000 on the table. If I throw it into our single game sim, large contest, I assume 25%? I haven't looked. Let's see. 20, yep, 25%. Boom. Let's see how we do.
Who are your favorite bats from the A's while we do this?
Negative 2.3%.
Nice.
Not bad.
Who are your favorite?
Uh,
Yeah, from the A's.
Favorite bat for the Ace. Guy I have the most of is Miguel Andujar. Um, I think Langoliers though is the best bat in the lineup.
I do too.
Although I just think Andujar is he's probably second.
And the heart looks good as well. What about from Detroit?
Guy I have the most of is Dylan Dingler. Akil Badu also 2,100 for Badu. Feels like a pretty cheap way to try to buy a home run.
Batting eighth today. Yeah, that doesn't seem crazy. I mean, there's a bunch of cheap bats for both of
Oh
these
yeah.
teams.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I mean, we have the Tigers as the number one value. I have the Tigers as the number one value. The most expensive guy is Kerry Carpenter at 4,300. And I can make a case that he should be more expensive today. I think Justin Henry Malloy is probably the best bat in that Tigers lineup, given the ownership, hitting in the leadoff spot.
If you were to make a lineup here with Oakland and Detroit, what does it look like?
Let's find out. Oakland and Detroit. Okay, so from the Tigers, I want Kerry Carpenter for sure.
Okay. Yes. And mind you, that Langoliers and Dingler are in the same position. I think you want Langoliers there, even though you like Dingler here.
I agree. I think you have enough money that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab Badu as well, which then lets me get probably Colt Keith. And I'm going to leave it at those three for right now. Take a look at the A's. That'll give us Langoliers. I'm going to take Daz Cameron since I bet him.
How about Andahar?
Yeah. I'm out of outfielders right now.
Okay, never mind.
They really overlap in the best possible spots, which is pretty annoying.
It is.
I need their third baseman and an outfielder. So let's move Tyler Nevin to third. I need a shortstop, which would be Max Schumann or Hernandez. I definitely don't want either one of those. So that makes it Dylan Moore. Nope, that's the Mariners. Javi Baez, I guess, is gonna have to be the choice. This is tough to do between these two teams. So that's 4 Detroit,
It's very
3
tough.
Oakland. First baseman for Oakland, Nevin or Alvarez. Let's make it Alvarez. So I have a 4-4 right now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to upgrade or like change one of these dudes because I have 12,400 for each pitcher.
All right. Well, you're probably getting Flaherty in there.
Yeah, I mean I'm going Flaherty Webb. That leaves me 6K. I'm gonna take out Akil Badu and put in Shohei Ohtani so I at least spend some of the salary. I have 1,400 left over. Flaherty Webb 4-3-1, which I do not mind at all running on a 4-game slate.
4-3-1. Yeah.
14.5%.
Yeah. I have a ton left over as well. And I went Langoliers, Madrid. It's got to be Madrid, right? Or is it Madrid? How do you pronounce that?
I mean, it's Madrid to me.
Right. Looks like Madrid, right? Colt, Keith, Nevin, Carpenter, Andahar, and Hall. Or I'm sorry. There is no Hall.
Madris.
No, I have Malloy in there. And then
Madris, by the way.
What is it?
Madris.
What did we say? Madrid? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You say the S.
Got it. If I go Flaherty and Webb, I still have $6,800 for a shortstop.
It's so much money.
So, I mean, naturally, I'm just going Francisco Lindor there.
I have it now as a 5-2-1. I got Geloff in at second. We'll see if that makes it any better. But I'm basically like hanging out around the 20% mark. Ooh, 34.
Actually, better than I would have thought.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Not
I
bad.
wonder if I could add a second Dodger instead of and only have one. What if I can I turn Javi Baez into Miguel Rojas? No. And I don't want to take Kerry Carpenter out. I mean, 34 I'm happy with.
With these guys, I almost like the 3-3-2 or something, or even 3-3-1-1. I don't
mind that kind of stuff today.
Because there's just so much left over when you're looking at Detroit and Oakland. I'm not saying you can't leave salary. Baseball, it is what it is, but I don't know how much you want to leave is the question.
I'm rerunning it now. I swapped out to Daz Cameron and I got Miguel Rojas in, but I can't imagine that moves all that much. I think the real key is getting rid of one of Flaherty or Webb.
I mean, if I go with Webb and Fried over Flaherty, I can do whatever I want.
God, yeah.
I have 6,300 remaining, and that's still with Lindor in the lineup.
Yeah, I have 1,300 just sitting here like it's nothing.
I'm looking at a 3 Oakland, 3 Detroit, maybe 2 Mets.
I keep trying to work this 5-man Oakland stack, but man, I cannot find anything that just unlocks.
It's really tough. It's really difficult.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
What do you think?
Do we have the final 2 lineups yet? Do we have Atlanta or San Francisco? No.
What do you think here?
Shame.
I have whatever I want. Essentially whatever I want for this last spot. I have a 3-man Oakland, 3-man Detroit, and then Lindor. Should I go Rosarena at 4,900, Teoscar Hernandez at 48, or just go to JD Martinez and get the second Met in there at 44?
Let me take a look. I'll tell you who my top plays are, independent of anything. I mean, I have Teoscar as the 5th best play today.
Okay.
So I would definitely lean that direction. I should probably run my final set right now, huh?
I really don't mind going Fried and Logan Webb in that same game. Hell,
I
if you
wouldn't
did
either.
it with Snell and Snell and Sale, turned out quite well for you.
Sure did. I mean, that just strikes me as a game that could very like you open it up and it's 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Granted, these guys aren't Sale and Snell. I get that.
No, they're like the Costco version of both of them.
Pretty much. But they're not priced there either. At least not Max Fried. I'm honestly tempted to I'm looking at it more and more. It's like 2 Oakland looks good. Langoliers, Andahar. Take Nevin out of there, maybe upgrade to. There's a lot you can upgrade to, as a matter
I'll
of
be
fact.
honest, I really don't like this slate.
Me neither.
I just don't feel comfortable with anything I'm building. Like everything I put together, it's like, oh, I have $1,900 left over. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's not great.
Maybe that's the play though.
It's just leave a lot on the table.
Yeah. I'm running my final sim now. Not that I expect anything to like really change, but
Here's a 3-3-2 I just built. 2 Oakland, 3 Detroit, 3 Mets. I'm really just trying to see what works.
I mean, I feel like every other show we've had, like we really just we dial into
Dial
like
in.
the stuff right to the top, and that's just not happening here.
It's not happening at all.
No. Which I'm not surprised by. I mean, short MLB slates provide the least amount of value. Like
I think the problem you
the
run
margins
into,
are smaller and smaller on a day like today.
absolutely, and I think also some of these teams just aren't easy to stack with 5, especially if you're trying to pair them with other teams where, those are the spots you're looking for.
Right. All right, let's start building. Let's find out what we end up with. Not that I don't
Also,
already know.
realistically, like everybody but that Atlanta San Francisco game looks like a pretty viable stack. Obviously not a great spot for Milwaukee, but they're also, entirely unowned.
Let's see. Going based off of whatever top stack odds I had last time we had it, we had the Giants at 8.5, and we had the Braves at 10.2, which means if the odds of one of those two teams being the number one stack is about 18%.
Okay.
17.8% chance that one of those two teams are the best stack based on what we have. So 1 out of every 5 days, basically 1 out of every 6 days, it's either the Giants or the Braves. I do find that interesting. I have a lot more of Atlanta than I do of the Giants.
Definitely a strange day.
Yeah.
Very, very strange slate.
You build out your stack and then you're just like, oh shit, the pitcher that I wanted to get is involved in this and now I can't use it. Like I don't know, the way that it all cross pollinates just doesn't feel comfortable today.
The Mets just keep looking nicer and nicer to me with these like Oakland and Detroit bats right now.
I have 11% of the Mets on my previous run.
11. Okay.
And I'm running my final run right now. Not that I'm expecting much to change here. I assume my main teams are Tigers, Brewers, Dodgers.
Ryan said, how about a San Francisco stack? Well, I will say they're good against
I would prefer the
lefties.
Atlanta side.
Would you?
Yeah.
I would prefer San Francisco over Atlanta.
I wouldn't because it's a lefty going for Atlanta.
That's why I would.
That's why I wouldn't. I think you're more likely to see a couple of these guys leave the game by the 5th inning.
Definitely possible. It's just they have truly dominated left-handed pitching. I mean,
they have
just dominated. We were talking about it. Like their team WRC plus is up there with some of the best. Remember we mentioned that
individual
earlier?
hitters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I'd love to know who they faced. Like, I'd love to know the average lefty starter.
For sure, because they faced Chris Sale and he had 12 Ks or whatever it was.
Right. Like it's not all that bad when you get beat by, one of the top 10 starters in baseball. It doesn't seem as weird,
Right.
or vice versa.
Fried has gotten himself into some trouble though, so there is that. He's also good. I
He
expect,
is.
I expect him to get better. But
All right, my sim is done.
and of course, do you ever want to check these tools out? Links in the description and in the chat. The single lineup sim or the pre-contest sim, which lets you sim up to 5,000 lineups. We'll have it all for football. If you're holding on to that, we'll have it all for football. But yeah, top stacks tool, top pitchers, top hitters, ownership, player projections, lineup generator, premium Discord, everything's included if you do a week, a month, however you want to play it. And we have all different packages depending on, how much you're playing, how much you want to spend, something for everybody. But you ever have questions, hit me up. You guys who have done it before know I'll answer. My DMs are open over on Twitter. All right, so what are you doing here?
Uploading. All right, we're in. And not that I'm expecting anything that I've just said to change dramatically here. Oh, it did. A lot more of the Brewers. Well, not a lot more, but I have the Brewers. I'm a lot lighter on the Dodgers now, which doesn't surprise me. They became a very different team. But it's Brewers and Tigers are my two stands.
Okay, so even more Brewers than before.
Yeah, 25%.
What teams are you lowest on?
Atlanta and San Francisco.
All right. Atlanta, San Francisco. Makes sense. I mean, that's really the game to me too, that just probably looks less appealing of all of them, or at least
I highly recommend everybody bets Sal Frelick to homer today.
Yeah, what are you getting what are the odds at?
I don't know, but I have 0%. And in these situations, the guy that I don't have is destined to homer. I have 30% of the first 5 guys in the lineup, and I don't have a single Sal Frelick share.
We wish you guys the best of luck. So
Yeah.
it's a tough slate, man. It's a weird slate, early slate. Really, Detroit's viable. Miller struggles a ton on the road. Mets are very viable against Mitch Spence. Oakland, I don't love him as a 5-man, but Quintana, the power he's allowed in as you mentioned, Josh, a park that favors righty power. Oakland has some interesting righty bats there as well. Dodgers against fuck is his name? Tobias
Myers.
Took you a second too.
I was waiting. I just wanted you to have the honor of getting it right.
Yeah, and Seattle too against Kenta Maeda. It's all there. If you wanted to make the argument San Fran against Atlanta, I wouldn't hate you for it either. It's just a terrible park for homers.
I have 12 Milwaukee 5-mans, 6 Detroit 5-mans.
Okay, so nothing crazy.
I also have 6 Milwaukee 4-mans.
On how many lineups?
50. 4 Atlanta 4 Atlanta 4-mans, 4 San Francisco 4-mans.
All right.
I have 4 Seattles, which I feel like I haven't said out loud.
Do you have any Oakland?
3 5s, 2 4s, 2 3s.
Okay. What about last one, Seattle?
4 5s. I don't have any 4-mans. And 3 3-mans.
Okay. Do we have a show?
I got that "How are you doing today" response from a random person.
By the way, there is live before lock tonight for you guys playing. So Lee, I haven't looked at the night slate, but favorite 2 pitchers, Greg and Eric will have you covered. 5:30 that one starts. So
yeah, I haven't looked at anything for the main.
Einstein, any of these games you think are sneaky to go over their total? I mean, yeah. Well, I'd give you teams like Detroit and Oakland are 2 to me that I think could be sneaky, just, given everything we talked about. As far as games go, it's tough to say because the Mets already have a 5+ total, right? Like Seattle's at 4.8. So if that game is going over, you're hoping that you're getting it from those two sides that we talked about. That would be the sneaky spot. There's nothing sneaky about me saying Mets or Seattle could score 5 or 6 runs.
I'm probably not the best person to ask in this scenario
Why is that?
because I don't believe that I can find value on the side or the total of a baseball game.
Well, it's not really value though, because it's not a binary, like it's not a just you against the house -110 situation, right? It's like if the question is like, hey, which one of these games we don't expect to, but if it does, it could pop off. That's different than betting an over or betting an under. Like you're betting an
Sure.
over, you're not betting the over or the under for the 10% likelihood or 15% likelihood that it does or doesn't.
I said that I was not doing too bad, and they said, same here. Is this Lex, please?
Keep going. This might be the one where they like invite you. Yeah, say yes, it's Lex. Definitely say, yeah, this
I'm going with the Lex Express is in the building.
I guess we hang. Are they iPhone? My guess is no.
Yes.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a Lex Luger picture.
So you can see when they're typing.
Yeah.
Are they typing?
Now, yeah, they are right now.
Okay. Are people still named Lex out there? Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
It's a good name.
Do you know any Lexes?
I mean, is if the person's like Alexander for real, maybe.
Those people go by Alex in my land.
Well, how else do you think you land on Lex?
Just Lex.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Lex Friedman,
There you go.
right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, a lot of respect for that guy. I'm terribly bored though listening to. I don't like his style of interviewing. I don't enjoy it. Like I'm not
No.
listening to 4 hours of that.
Yeah. I don't agree.
I figured you wouldn't. Yeah, because you have that stupid podcast that speeds it up for you.
He said, I mean, Mr. Alex Eddy. E-D-D-Y.
It was Alex. You were right. Or he just misspelled it. Alex Eddy.
Maybe Edie.
How did he spell that?
E-D-D-Y.
So yeah, you got him.
Now I feel bad because I don't feel like I'm getting scammed here. This just seems like somebody trying to text the wrong number.
You're getting scammed, dude. Stop it. This is a scam.
Well, if I say no, this is the wrong number, I don't think they're going to continue and try to keep me in this conversation.
Just say yes. This is a scam.
No. I'm just letting this one go. I don't think I'm going to have the same fun I thought I was going to have. And
What?
it's
Just
12:57.
say yes.
It's 12:57. Odd Shopper live in 2 minutes.
Just one response, then we can.
It's already gone.
You are really a sissy.
It's already gone. Odd Shopper live coming up next. The longer I have to sit here and do this, the longer I have to wait to do Odd Shopper live.
Give me the number. I'll let him know that Alex Eddy referred me.
Here. 862.
I don't really want the number. I'm joking.
Okay, then never mind.
All right, we'll see you guys back here. Have a good rest of the day. Live Before Lock coming up next. We will see you tomorrow to close out the week. I assume, it'll be an 11 o'clock Eastern. Probably a sizable slate. So
You would think.
come hang out. We'll be there. We'll usher you into the weekend. Hopefully a stochastic avatar takes it down today. Until next time, good luck, guys. Peace.